Okay, so let us try to understand how to solve rational inequality. In rational inequality, there are uh, different forms or formula or process or steps to be used. Pero we are we will just explain right now or try to understand the simplest steps that we can take so that we can solve rational inequality. So as you can see in the suggested steps, there are 3 steps. So first is write the rational inequality as an equation. Step 2, identify the critical values. And step 3, create an interval using the critical values. So let's try to apply those steps. So let us try to solve a simple equation. X plus 5 over x minus 4 is greater than 4. So how to solve this using the suggested steps? So step 1, write the rational inequality as an equation. So let us try to rewrite it as an equation. So the symbol of greater than or a less than should be replaced as equal sign. And then next, we will try to solve it as a normal equation. So cross multiplication, it will become 4 over 1, and then x plus 5 multiplied by 1 is equal to x minus 4 multiplied by 4. So let us simplify. So x plus 5 remain is equal to x multiplied by 4 is 4x. So some of you, maybe you are multiplying a variable x to 4, you will try to write it as 4x squared. So it is wrong. 4x squared will become the product if 4 has also a variable of x. Since there is no variable of x here, 4 multiplied by x is just only 4x. And then negative 4 multiplied by 4 is minus 16. And then simplify. So combine like terms, x transpose the 4x, and then transpose 5 from left going right, and then minus 16. And then simplify. Negative 3x is equal to negative 21. So this is our equation. However, let's go back to use our original inequality sign. So minus 3x less than negative 21. Okay, since this is our inequality and the value of x is negative, if we will multiply it or divide it by a negative number, our sign will flip from negative into a positive. So our inequality from greater than into less than, or from less than into greater than. So to remove the confusion, just go to directly solve it using this step. So it is negative 21 divided by negative 3. So negative 21 divided by negative 3 is x is equal to 7. Okay, so let us list our critical value. So since we have solved it as a normal equation, we will try to write our critical values. Critical values are the values of x which will make the equation 0. So the value of x here is 7. So critical value is x is equal to 7. Next. Aside from that, another, to make it 0, our denominator should also be 0. So from the past lessons, if you are solving for the value of x, we remember that x plus 5 or x minus 4 can also be the value of x. But in here, the purpose is to make the denominator and the numerator 0. So what is the value of x to make it 0? So x minus 4 is equal to 0, transpose x is equal to positive 4. And then let's use also x plus 5. It will become x plus 5 is equal to 0. So transpose positive 5, it will become minus 5 or negative 5. So these are the critical values. So after identifying the critical values, we will now go to the step 3. Create an interval using the critical values. So if we will try to create an interval, let us first try to make sense our equation. So our equation must be like this. So it will be negative 5, 4, and then 7. Okay. So these are the critical values that we have right now. So how to make a test here? So the value of x should be satisfying our equation right here. So what is our equation? Our equation must be as simplified here. X plus 5, x minus 4 greater than 4. So to solve this, we will try to understand what are the sign. So the value of x must be from or between 4 and 7, and then between negative 5 and 4. So these are the values of, so let's use, no, okay. So what are the values of x here? To make it true to the inequality. Okay, let's try to solve this problem. So after gathering those values, let's try to substitute any given number. So let's try to solve for any value of less than negative 5. Since our critical point is negative 5, from here x plus 5 is equal to 0, let's try to substitute this to this equation. X plus 5, so x plus 5, and then x minus 4, and then it must be greater than 4. So it must be greater than 4. Okay. So the question now is, if we will substitute any number less than negative 5, what would be the number that we will have? It will be, let's try negative 6, since negative 6 is less than negative 5. Then negative 6. So 6 plus 5 is equal to 6 plus 5 is equal to negative 1. And negative 6 minus 4. So in here, change this subtraction into addition, and then negative 4 into a positive, or from positive into a negative sign. So negative 6 plus negative 4 is equal to negative 10. So negative 1 divided by negative 10 is not an, or it is false. Okay. So since negative 1 over negative 10 is not greater than 4, it is false. Okay, so any number that is less than 5 is not true, meaning it is not part of the inequality. Let's try between negative 5 and negative 4. So what are the numbers between negative 5 and negative 4? Since it is a negative number and ito ay positive number, let's try 0. So instead of negative 6, let us try 0. Let us try 0. So 0 plus 5 is 5. 0 plus negative 4. So bakit siya plus negative 4? Because subtraction change into addition, and then yung positive sign of 4, negative sign yung 4. So it will become negative 4. So negative 5 over negative 4, ito ang ating numerator. So para di nalilito, numerator. Our numerator and our denominator. Okay. So for our denominator, it is negative 4. So 5 over negative 4 is negative 5 over 4, and negative 5 over 4 is not greater than 4. So any number between 5 and negative 4 is also not part of the solution that we are looking for. So it is also false. So next, if this value of x is not included, then we will exclude this to our solution. So if we will exclude this, all we can have is 4 and 7. So it is 4, which is less than x, or the x is less than 7. Since 4 will give us a 0 value and 7 will give us also a 0 value, let us try to solve it in between. So gagamit tayo ng numbers between 4 and 7. So any numbers between 4 and 7 could be 5 and 6. So let's try 5 and 6. So 5 and then 5. 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. 5 plus negative 4 is equal to 1. So ano ang ating magiging sagot dito? 10 as numerator and 1 as denominator, it is equal to 10 over 1 or 10, which is greater than 4. So it is true. Next, if we will try to substitute 6, 6 plus 5 is equal to 11, and 6 plus negative 4 is equal to 2. So the answer would be 11 over 2. It is equal to 5.5, and 5.5 is greater than 4. Sir, what if we will use 7? So let us try to use 7. 7 plus 5 is equal to 12, and 7 plus negative 4 is equal to 3. So 12 over 3 is equal to 12 divided by 3, which is 4. And 4 is not greater than 4. So, hindi kasama yung 7. Sir, what if greater than 7? So, alam na natin, 4 and 7 is our critical value. So, let us list our critical value or our solution set. So, our solution set would be 4 greater than x or less than x, and then less than 7. So let us try to come up with another set of solution. Okay. Next, if we will try any number greater than 7, we will try 8. So from 7, let us use 8 and 8. So 8 plus 5 is equal to 13. 8 plus negative 4 is 4. So 13 divided by 4 is 3. Remainder 1 or 3.25. So 3.25 is not greater than 4. So any number greater than 7 is false. Then therefore, isa lang yung ating solution set. That is only this one. 4 less than x and x is less than 7. So any number greater than 4 or less than 7 is our answer. So to check, let us look at our graph here. Sabi natin, any number between 4 and 7. So tingnan natin kung ang naka-shade ba is between 4 and 7. So yes, the value of x, which is yung horizontal line, is only from 4 up to 7. Okay. Ganun siya. Sir, paano naman kung mas mahirap? So try natin. Let us try to solve another problem. So another problem is this one. Let us try to solve this second equation. So x squared plus 4x plus 3. Again, let us go with the step 1. Write the rational inequality as an equation. So write down natin ito as an equation. So yung sign of inequality dyan And also, remember, kapag may underline, ibig sabihin, it could be equal or it could not be equal. So, pag may underline, pwedeng equal siya doon. Anyway, makikita din natin yan mamaya. So, since gagawin natin siya equation, palitan muna natin siya pansamantala ng equal sign. And then, proceed tayo sa kung paano kayo nagsosolve ng rational equation. So, paano natin isosolve ito? X squared plus 4x plus 3 by factoring or by completing the square, kung saan kayo mas nadadalian. So, gawin na lang natin by factoring. So, 3 multiply by, since wala siyang coefficient, it is already 3. And ano yung mga factors ng 3 na kapag pinag-add mo, 4 ang lalabas? Sir, bakit pag pinag-add? Tingnan mo, yung sign natin, positive 3. Meaning, either dalawang negative yan or dalawang positive na minomultiply. Tapos, ano yung nasa B natin? Positive 4. Meaning, kapag pinag-add mo yung dalawang number, positive dapat ang lalabas. Since dapat parehas sila ng number, dapat parehas sila ng sign, dapat either positive or negative. As a case na to, it is positive, so positive dapat yung minomultiply. So, kung nasundan ninyo yun, well and good. Kung hindi, pwede nyo i-replay or try to solve it on your own. So, dito, para mas mabilis yung discussion natin, ang minomultiply natin to come up with 3 dyan is x plus 3 and x plus 1. So, again, positive 3 multiplied by positive 1 is positive 3. And positive 3 plus positive 1 is positive 4. So, since nakuha na natin yung mga factors, ito na yung ating magiging critical values. Sir, paano yan? Hindi na natin ma-simplify? Yes, kasi pag tintry mo na ginawa itong simplification, i-multiply mo lang denominator mo sa 0 and then ito lang din yung matitira. So, since ito ay naka-factor out na, meaning lahat na ng factors is nakuha na natin, let us try to solve for any values of x to make it 0 yung ating fraction. Since x plus 3, so x plus 3 is equal to 0, so x transpose yung 3 magiging negative 3. Next, x plus 1, so transpose magiging siyang x minus 1. Next, x minus 2 transpose magiging x positive 2. Since nakuha na natin yung ating mga critical values, ayan, kung makuha mo na yung critical values, anong gagawin na natin? We will try to substitute it doon sa ating critical values na yung interval natin, no? So, syempre, by value, negative 3, and then, lalagay din natin yung x, then, lalagay din natin yung negative 1, and then, lalagay din natin yung x, and then, lalagay din natin yung 2. So, try natin kung lalabas yung mga yan. So, ilista muna natin yung itsura ng ating equation. It is, gamitin natin itong nasa baba. Ayan. So, sabi niya dito, it is x plus 3 multiply by x plus 1 tapos over x minus 2. X minus 2. Ayan. So, try natin. Tayo muna natin ito. Sabi niya, it is greater than or equal. Lagyan na lang natin or equal to 0. So instead na 4, 0 daw siya. So ilagay natin statement dito. So since ganyan na siya, try natin. Okay. So x plus 3. So try muna natin yung nasa left side ng 3. So syempre pinakamalapit, negative 4. So negative 4 plus 3. And then multiply natin ng negative 4 plus 1. Okay. Next, yung denominator natin, x, which is negative 4 minus 2. Okay. So, yun na naman, no? Minus 2, tama? Minus 2. So, since minus 2 yan, change na natin yung sign. So, from subtraction, gagawin natin addition. From positive, gagawin natin negative. Yan. So, minus 2. Then, equal sign. Okay. So let us solve. Negative 4 plus 3 is equal to negative 1 multiply by ano to? Negative 4 plus 1 is equal to negative 3. So negative 1 multiply by negative 3 is equal to positive 3. Yan. So, di na natin babalikan yung mga lesson nyo dyan, no? Sige, try natin. Tingnan natin kung masasolve natin. So, ito ay magiging negative 1. And then, ito ay magiging negative 3. So, negative 1 multiply by negative 3 is equal to 3. So, ito naman. Negative 4 plus negative 2 is negative 6. So ano ang ating magiging fraction? 3 over negative 6. So ano siya? It is a negative fraction, and a negative fraction is not greater than or equal to 0. Syempre, 'di ba? Kasi ang numbers na less than 0, yun yung mga negative. So ano yung mas mataas sa 0? So dapat positive. Since ito ay negative, automatic, hindi natin gagamitin. So, any number less than negative 3 is, instead of true, it is false. Okay. So, false na yan. Next, try natin yung between negative 3 and negative 1. So, any number between negative 3 and negative 1, ito try natin. So, ano ba ang nasa pagitan nila? Negative 2. So, instead of negative 4, gamitin natin negative 2, negative 2, and negative 2. Okay. Negative 2 plus 3, positive 1. Negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. Okay. Ngayon, 1 multiply by negative 1 is equal to negative 1. Siyempre, kasi magkaiba sila ng sign. Ngayon, negative 2 plus negative 2. O bakit na naman to naging plus? Dahil nga, subtraction, gagawing addition, yung sign ng 2 na positive, magiging negative. Okay. Next, negative 2, magiging siyang 4. Okay. So, since negative 1 and negative 4, ano magiging sagot natin? It is negative 1, 4. Sir, para silang negative. So, since negative yung numerator at negative yung denominator, magiging positive yan. So, ano yung magiging final answer natin? Negative 1 divided by negative 4 is equal to, since para silang negative, magiging siyang 1 over 4. Tanong, is 1 over 4 greater than or equal to 0? The answer is yes, so it is true. So any number between negative 3 and negative 1. Ngayon ang tanong, sir, kasama ba ang negative 3 and negative 1? Okay, yung kanina hindi natin sinama kasi dapat hindi siya mag-equal to 0. Pero ngayon, isasama na natin yung negative 3 and negative 1 kasi nga, okay lang na maging equal to 0. Remember, if the inequality has underline here, ibig sabihin, pwedeng equal to, kung 0 man to, 0. Paano kung 4? So, dapat equal doon sa 4. So, dito, sabi niya, x squared plus 4x plus 3 divided by x minus 2 must be greater than or equal to 0. Okay. So, kasama ang negative 3 kasi part siya nung ating numerator. Yan. Ang tawag natin dito ay extraneous roots. Or the roots that makes the equation 0. So, paano ko nakuha tong 3, negative 1, negative 2? Galing dito. Anyway, try natin. Negative 1 para lang masatisfy. Negative 1, and negative 1. So, negative 3 plus 1 is, or negative 1 plus 3 is equal to 2. And then negative 1 plus negative 1 is 0. So 2 times 0 is 0. So 1 plus negative 2 is negative 3. Ano itsura ng ating ng ating fraction? 0 over negative 3. So, pwede ba yan? Ang lalabas sa sagot dyan ay 0. So, it is also true because sabi nga niya 0, ang kinalabasan nito ay 0 which is equal to 0. Okay, ganun siya. So, pwede yung negative 3, pwede yung negative 1, pwede rin yung 2. Ngayon, nakuha na natin from negative 3 hanggang negative 1 pwede. Ngayon, ang di natin alam, from negative 1 hanggang 2. So, any number na greater than negative 1, which is, try natin, 0. Matik. 0. So, if 0 yan, tingnan natin kung anong lalabas. 0 plus 3 is equal to 3. 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. So, 3 multiplied by 1 is equal to 3. Denominator natin. So, 0 plus negative 2, negative 2. Anong itsura ng ating fraction? It is 3 and negative 2. Or, kapag sinimplify natin, 3 over negative 2 is, since ang numerator mo positive at ang denominator mo ngayon ay negative, magkaiba sila ng sign. And therefore, they are negative value. So, anong value ng 3 over 2? It is 1.5. So, negative 1.5 is not greater than or equal to 0. Siyempre, negative value. So, any values na negative, less than 0 sila. Ayan. So, it is false. So, another, kung hindi pa tayo makontento sa 0, try natin yung 1 since negative 1 up to 2. Dapat hindi ka umabot ng 2. Kasi 2 is part of the solution. Bakit? Kasi part siya noong magiging 0 yung ating fraction. Ito siya, x minus 2. So, ibig sabihin, kasama yung 2. So, ano hindi natin natry? Yung 1. Try natin yung 1. So, 1, and then 1, and then, sa denominator, 1 din. So, 1 plus 3 is equal to 4. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So, kung 2 yan, 4 times 2 is equal to 8. So 1 plus negative 2 is equal to negative 1. Yan. So kung negative 1 yan, ano itsura ng ating fraction? The fraction is 8 over negative 1. And 8 over negative 1 is equal to 8 divided by 1 is equal to 8. And since ang numerator mo ay positive, ang denominator mo ay negative, it is different sign. Your quotient will be negative and therefore it is also false. Hindi na satisfy yung ating equation because negative 8 is not greater than or equal to 0. Sir, paano naman kung greater than 2? Okay, so ilista natin. Solution set natin, nakita natin kanina, included daw yung 3. So 3 is less than x and x is less than negative 1. Paano naman itong 2? So 2, try natin yung 3. So if masatisfy nung 3 niya, ibig sabihin kasama lahat ng mas mataas sa 2. So 3 plus 3 is equal to 6. 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. 6 multiplied by 4 is equal to 24. 3 plus negative 2 ngayon is equal to positive 1. So, ano ang ating numerator? It is 24. Ano yung ating denominator? Positive 1. So, 24 divided by 1 is equal to 24. So, 24 is 24 greater than or equal to 0. The correct answer is, it is true. Because 24 is greater than 0. Ayan. So, ibig sabihin, any number that is greater than, so the value of x now could be greater than 2. Or greater than or equal to 2. Ayan. So, may underline ito. No? Ayan. So, paano natin isusulat ito? So, itong solution set natin, sabi niya, included. Okay. Kapag sinabing included, kasama yung nasa pinaka right or left side. Sabi niya, included daw yung negative 3. Sabi niya, di ba? So, paano ko muna to gagawing solution set? So, it could be x wherein it is found on negative 3 less than or equal to the value of x, and then sabi niya less than or equal to 7. Tapos maliban doon, or ayan, or x is wherein x is greater than 2. Sure, paano yung 2? Okay, try natin. If lalagay natin yung 2, ay x, yan. So, lalagay natin 2. Ano yung magiging denominator natin? 0. Ano to? Magiging to multiply by 3, 18. 18 over 0. Okay, so 18 over 0. Ito, ang 18 over 0 is undefined. Kasi hindi ka pwedeng magkaroon ng denominator na 0 kasi paano mo i-divide sa wala? Diba? Okay, balikan natin sa fraction. Kapag ang numerator mo ay 0 at ang denominator mo ay greater than 0, pwede mong sagutin yun as 0. Kumbaga, yung wala, which is numerator, i-divide mo sa marami. So, since wala ka namang i-divide sa marami, ilan ang kalalabasan? Wala. So, 0 yung sagot doon. Pero ito, yung 18, i-divide mo sa wala. Since wala ka namang pang divide sa 18, hindi mo madedefine ngayon. Okay. So, 18 over 0 is undefined. Hindi mo alam, no solution siya. Hindi siya nag-exist. So, it is false. Hindi kasama si 2. So, if it is false, anong gagawin? Hindi kasama si 2. So, greater than 2 lang siya. Okay. Next. So, since ganyan na siya, anong gagawin natin? Pwede mo itong isulat sa ganitong format. Kapag ginagamit natin yung brace, ito, yung brace, ibig sabihin, brace yan, ibig sabihin hanggang dyan. Kapag sinabing ganyan, hanggang sa kung ano yung ilalagay mo number dyan. Since sabi dito, kasama yung 3, ilagay mo yung 3. Hanggang, sabi niya, 3 up to negative 1. Tapos, gagawa natin ng union. Ibig sabihin ng union, kung naalala niyo sa Venn diagram, it is a sign wherein sets are being combined together. So, sabi niya dito, another yung x is greater than 2, meaning hindi kasama yung 2. Pero pwedeng greater than 2. So, kung hindi kasama yung 2, ilalagay natin parenthesis. Meaning, hindi kasama si 2. 2 hanggang infinity. Okay? So, since infinity yan, ibig sabihin, negative 3 hanggang negative 1, tapos 2 hanggang infinity. Positive yun, ha? So, to check if tama yung sagot natin, ayan. So, this is our answer. Sabi niya, from negative 3 hanggang negative 1 kasama. So, ayun siya. Eto siya. Negative 3 hanggang negative 1. Ngayon, ano yung 2 hanggang infinity? Eto. 2 hanggang matapos yan. Hanggang yan. So, positive infinity. So, ganoon tayo nagsasolve ng ating rational inequality. Again, unang gagawin mo, write the rational inequality as an equation. So, isosolve natin siya. From inequality, gagawin mo muna ng equation, and then, identify the critical values. How to identify the critical values? I-solve mo base dun sa pagkakaalam mo or pagkakatanda mo doon sa rational equations natin. So, sa rational equality or rational equations, finding the value of x. So, ang ginagawa natin, if pwede mong hanapan pa ng simplification, kagaya nung ginawa natin kanina dito, since pwede mo pang i-simplify yan, i-solve mo as it is, i-solve mo para makuha yung value ng x, go. Pero dito, hindi na natin makukuha yung value ng x. Why? Kasi, naka-factor out na yan, wala ka nang makancel, hindi mo pwede i-cross-multiply. So, ano ang mga critical values? Any numbers. Since kagaya nito, kapag kinuhanan mo ng value ng 0, or yung value, yung x plus yung value is equal to 0, magiging 0 siya. So, paano ko nakuha again? Since naka-factor na to, x plus 3 is equal to 0. So, x minus 3. X plus 1, magiging siyang x minus 1. And x minus 2 is x plus 2. Okay. Ngayon, hindi kasama lahat ng numbers if yung numbers na yon ay nasa denominator at ang denominator mo ay magiging 0. If your denominator will result to 0, that value of x is not included to the solution and therefore, hindi niya masasatisfy yung inequality mo. Kagaya dito sa ating example. You cannot satisfy the equation because your denominator will be 0. Okay lang na maging 0 ang numerator, wag lang yung denominator. So that's it for our rational inequality.